Yeah. 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 Step into the bayou where the chatter gets wild. Truth served fresh with a wink and a smile. From gators to gumbo, it's a party. Let's sing. Welcome to the show. It's Bada Bing. We got flavors of the South with a 90s vibe. Stories roll deep and the beats arrive. Grab a seat, feel the heat, let the good times flow. It's the Bayou jamming. Ready, set, go. Bada Bing, Bayou. The stories unfold where the swamp's alive and the truth is bold. Tune in, lean in, the vibe's so dope. Bayou beats in your ear, we the crew you'll quote.
Ciao a tutti.
Or as we say in Louisiana, hey y'all.
My name is Patrick Ross Campesi,
And I'm Lawrence Joseph Ingraffia.
and you are listening to
The Bada Bing Bayou podcast.
Lawrence. How you doing today, buddy?
Menza.
Menza. Che cosa succede?
It was a long day.
Yeah, I feel that.
Got up early.
And it's late right now. And
It
we
is.
got. I think you actually this morning you got up earlier than I did.
I did. I was up at 4.
I got up around 4:30. Took a little cat nap. Don't know why I did that, but we hit the gym about
We
5:30 or so.
did hit the gym.
and we hit legs today.
We did hit legs.
We are going to feel it tomorrow.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that. We don't skip leg day in this household.
Not at all. We're Sicilians. We don't do that.
We don't skip leg day.
Not at all. And speaking of Sicilians, what are we doing here today? What's this about?
Well, this is about, really it's just an introduction. Talk about who you are, who I am, and why we're here.
Exactly. So the Bada Bing Bayou podcast.
Yes.
What's the background of that name?
Bada Bing Bayou podcast. Yeah, this is a podcast that is primarily focused on the Sicilian culture in Louisiana, but to a larger extent, the Sicilian and Italian American culture throughout the Gulf South.
Okay. So it's also, as we've been filming this and getting this going, it's now been done that one of us is Bada and one of us is Bing. So
That's
we'll let
right.
y'all figure that out. We'll let y'all figure that out for that
Yeah.
one. But to Lawrence's point, there's just so much going on in Italian America down here in the South, Gulf South, and South Louisiana. But I believe that we are the original Italian podcast or Sicilian podcast south of the Mason-Dixon line.
That's right. We are the OG.
So we're the OG. You are the OG listeners for tuning in to our pilot episode. So thank y'all. Grazie a tutti.
We very much appreciate that. And we'll have something for y'all whenever we monetize this thing. We'll get you sashes.
That's right. Patreon, all that stuff. We'll get there
Yeah,
one day.
We're getting there.
Exactly. But down here in Louisiana, we're going to talk mainly about Sicilian stuff because in Louisiana, there's just so much of us, right? So like my family came over 1890 from Sicily.
Right.
And actually we found out recently that Lawrence and I might be related.
That's right. We might be.
From Poggio Reale. It's a very small town, very historic town, actually.
Cugine.
Cugine, exactly. Cugini.
How about that?
Exactly. So we might be related. My family came over 1890, sugarcane farmers, and we were in Louisiana.
Yep.
And we did that for many decades. My grandfather went to some other businesses. After that, I was born in the late 90s.
Right.
So still a 90s kid.
That's very good.
But basically grew up here in Baton Rouge. Went
Yeah.
to LSU, go Tigers for all those who know. And now I did various odd jobs, but now I'm in financial advising.
And fun fact, he is actually my financial advisor.
That is a fun fact, and there's going to be plenty more of those where they came from.
That's right.
But what about yourself?
Yeah, so my family, much like yours, predominantly Sicilian family, immigrated in the early 1900s, turn of the century. I'm Sicilian on both sides of the family, and they came from all over the island. But they were farmers, not sugarcane farmers. They were strawberry farmers.
Did your family come to New Orleans?
Yeah, so the Ingraffias came through Ellis Island in New York, and then my mother's side of the family, they came through the port of New Orleans.
Okay. And then so coming from New York, New Jersey area, how did you get to Louisiana?
That's a really good question. From what I know, from what I can remember from my grandfather telling me was that they were farmers back in Sicily, and so they heard that Louisiana was very fertile. You could grow pretty much anything year round here because the winters are not as bad as they are up in the north, and so that is what drove the Ingraffias down here to the boot
And where'd they settle?
in Independence, Louisiana.
If you're not familiar with it, most people, it's just a small town, but
It
it's
is.
crazy how many people are like, I'll meet around the country. They're like, oh, Independence, Louisiana, it's the Sicilian Heritage Festival that they
Dude.
know about it. That's like a hot spot of Sicilians in Louisiana.
All roads lead to Independence.
That is actually correct. And for those of you who haven't been, the Sicilian Heritage Festival, it's like in March, April
Yeah.
every year, during the spring. Mm-hmm. Such an amazing event. One, just because it's fun, but secondly, because it is Sicilian, like
It
almost
is.
authentically Sicilian. It's
Yeah.
an amazing thing. Mm-hmm. And in Independence, outside of that, like they still teach Sicilian language there. There's just such a strong culture and tradition and heritage that is preserved there. So definitely, if you ever find yourself in Independence, Louisiana, definitely got to go stop by that.
Yep. Say hey to my cousin Dave.
There you go. Everybody's and Independence, everybody's related
For the most part.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing with like South Louisiana. There's like 200 or 400,000 Sicilians or Sicilian Americans in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Not to mention the countless others that went to Texas, all the way down to Florida, along
I
the
know.
East Coast, like the Gulf Coast, the Gulf South. There's a lot of us down here.
Yeah, there are.
But there's just not enough nowadays of that, the younger generations coming in. But there's something that's changing that now.
That's right.
That's the Italian American Future Leaders, like an IFL. Mm-hmm. That's this past January. That was our third year doing it.
That's right.
It was your first year going to it.
Yeah, it was my first year. I was a fellow. That was some of the most fun I've ever had.
How many people were there?
Oh God, we probably had I think it was 150 fellows. So like myself and 149 others,
Yeah.
and then about 100 give or take alumni.
Yeah. 250 plus, including mentors and like the leadership of IFL. We're all
Yeah.
down in South Florida in January. It's like one of the best ways, I think, to kick off the year if you're a young Italian professional, because there's just so much energy, ideas that you come up with, and the networking and the connections that you make from that. You're not just meeting with people from Louisiana going
Oh,
down.
no.
It's across the country and even international. I mean, they have
yeah.
people from Canada, and years prior, we've had Italians actually coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking we're going to continue growing this thing.
I mean, from what you've told me and from what everyone there has told me that's been a previous participant in IAFL is that it gets bigger every year.
100%. And that's
So-
really the goal.
That's what I'm saying. So like, why wouldn't it get bigger in year 4?
Exactly. There's a lot to look forward to. And what was so cool about IFL this year is it was that first event that we had that was like Italian, right? After that, we hit the ground running here in Louisiana.
Oh my God.
Like
Did
2
we?
weeks after we got back from IFL, we had the American Sports Hall of Fame Gala from the American Italian Cultural Center in New
That's right.
Orleans. Tony Orlando was there.
Yeah, he was.
Sal Palantonio, Sal Pal.
Sal Pal, baby.
I mean, so many awesome Italian Americans from all across
Mm-hmm.
the country. And one of the really cool things from that event was Tony Orlando. He brought up a really interesting perspective because he's not Italian. He's
No,
like
he's not.
Greek and something else.
I think like Spanish maybe.
I think it might have been Spanish. But
Something. He's got dark features.
he does. So he could pass as an Italian.
Yeah, he can.
But one of the cool things that he said as a non-Italian, which is a different perspective, is that if you could be anything in the world, anywhere, be an Italian.
Yeah. He said anybody can be an Italian.
Exactly. And I agree with that because like what we're going to talk about in these future episodes is what it's like being an Italian or Sicilian not from the Northeast. When everybody thinks Italians, they think, hey, how you doing? And they got the track suits and the
Yeah.
spiky hair and all that.
Right.
And like, look, that's their way of doing things. We're not knocking that.
No.
But not everybody is like that. I mean,
No.
I'm wearing boots right now. We grew up hunting and fishing,
Yes, we did.
listening to country music, the good
That's
old
right.
country music too.
That's
Stuff
right.
It's stuff that you just wouldn't expect, if you will, from the traditional Italian American stereotype.
No,
for lack of
that's
better
right.
Words.
That's right.
But there are so many Italians across this country who do things a little bit differently.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't make you less Italian.
No, it doesn't make you any less Italian at all. And I think that was probably one of the biggest takeaways from IAFL was that, yeah, I mean, we're all here for a common purpose. We all have shared interest, and the interest and what we're there to do is to think and contemplate new ideas and new methods, and bounce ideas off of one another. That way, we can not only preserve our Italian Sicilian culture here in America, but also advance it.
Exactly. And one of the great things from that weekend is we come up with so many different ideas.
Yes.
Give you a little background. Lawrence and I met probably a year and a half ago, just over email. He had joined the lodge
That's right.
that we have here in Baton Rouge, the St. Expedite Lodge. He had joined that because you found out it was like a young Italian professionals lodge, right?
Yeah, and then I knew that after the bar exam, I would be eventually moving to Baton Rouge, and so I was like, well, this is something I want to be a part of. There's no reason for me not to be a part of it. And so, yeah, I joined the lodge and wasn't really involved for a couple of months, naturally.
To be honest, I didn't think you'd ever show up to this stuff because that's the experience you have. Some people send
Well,
some emails, you never know.
Well, I mean, 3 months out of that entire year, I'm locked in the library at the Loyola Law School studying for the bar exam. And then the next 2 months, I'm, sweating out results. I really wasn't sweating out results. I was telling people during the bar exam, like, I am going to pass the bar exam. And people were like, Lawrence, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. And they were like, like no one else is saying they're just going to pass the bar exam while we're taking it. And I'm like, no, I am.
That's the Sicilian confidence in you.
Dude, a son of a gun, man. I had fava beans in my socks.
That's how you got to do it.
They said you can't. These are the only things you got to carry a clear plastic bag into the testing center, and they're like, you have to have a highlighter, you can have pencils, you can have pens, you can have tissue, and you can have like Tylenol. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna not carry my fava beans from the St. Joseph's altar.
Every one of my jackets that I have back at home in my closet, every
Yeah.
single one has a fava bean in it.
I got fava beans in my pants right now.
Oh, watch
Two.
out.
Two
Two
of
of them. Oh, good luck.
That's
Extra
right,
good
babe.
luck.
Gotta have it.
So after you you finish, you pass the bar exam.
That's right.
Complimenti for that. We have our serrata, and
Yes.
the spring serrata, which is now our annual event. We had that in, I think it was June of last year as
Yeah,
well.
it was
Maybe
in
end of
June.
May. Oh, no, it was Memorial Day weekend. So it was end of May.
Oh, that is end of May.
Yeah. So we had it then. Lawrence shows up, and not only does he show up, he actually was the winner of the raffle that we had for tickets for the event. And of course, he's wearing the one and only gold cornicello that we had imported from Italy.
Oh, there it is.
Beautiful thing.
18 karat gold. Thank you. See ya.
Exactly. So Lawrence comes up, has a great time. We start connecting. Months go by. We still have a couple events. We stay in touch. And this is last year, so it's leading up into IFL. Mm-hmm. Recruit you. This was the largest delegation we had from Louisiana. We had 5 people, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but considering in years prior there wasn't that many, and also it's not a predominant area like Chicago, New York, New Jersey.
No, it's
to
not.
have 5 young Italian Americans who are passionate about this stuff,
Right.
Which I was over the moon to see that delegation show up. And to your point, we hit the ground running with all these ideas because we've got the Serrata coming up this coming June.
Yes, we do.
Among many other events that we're doing, we've now put together an awesome team of like marketing, like so many great things that we're working on, and it's ideas that we really got from IFL, from connecting with these other people who have organizations.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing. And even outside of that, the events that we're putting on, there's so much else going on in Louisiana and Italian America that we don't even have to put on. We just go show up and have a great time.
That's exactly
Right?
right.
So we had the gala.
Yes,
we
we
had
did.
then in March the St. Joseph's altar,
Huh.
San Giuseppe.
I know they say they say October is the de facto like Italian Heritage Month
Yeah.
because you have Columbus Day in there. I really think March is the Italian Heritage Month.
I would counter that and say it's the Sicilian Heritage Month.
Yeah, that's more accurate. Yeah, I mean
We need to get that up.
there was something going on damn near every weekend in
Oh,
March.
I'm still recovering from it.
You and me both. I still have laundry to do.
Yeah. Actually, you got some of the beads from the parades off to your left over there on the little lamp.
I sure do. I
There's
keep
just
some.
from that weekend. I mean, St. Joseph's Day was that Wednesday.
Yep.
Friday we had the pasta party.
Oh my God, the pasta party.
After that, our good friend of ours and our mentor, Charles Marsala, was the Grand Marshal of the Italian-Irish Parade
Yeah.
in Metairie on that Sunday, so his dinner dance was then.
Right.
Awesome experience. I mean, I got some really fun videos and photos with him. He was having a ball, and he deserved to have something that great. I mean,
As he should.
he crushed it. That Saturday, we had the parade.
Yep.
And it's the only, if I'm not mistaken, it's the only parade during Mardi Gras season that actually goes through the French Quarter.
Well, that's right.
And that's the Italians.
That's right. It's the Italians. That's a fun fact. There are no other Mardi Gras parades. Actually, it's not even a Mardi Gras parade because it's the Italian American St. Joseph Society St. Joseph's Day Parade.
Mm-hmm.
But there are no Mardi Gras parades that parade through the French Quarter
And
with floats.
For that weekend, if you're like, I don't know, it sounds kind of whatever. You're not into it. It has been donned by some very influential Italian American influencers
Yes, it has.
that this is basically the Italian American or the Italian Super Bowl in New Orleans.
That's what he said. He goes, "This is the Italian American Super Bowl."
And to our good friend, he was saying like this is his second Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, he
so
did say that.
if you haven't come down, you got to come because from IFL we had 20 people.
Yeah, man. I did. I don't want to give myself too much credit, but I thought I did a pretty good job recruiting the people to the cause.
Outreach here was insane.
Oh my god.
I mean, we had California, Colorado, Texas,
San
Francisco, Florida,
Chicago.
I mean, all over the country.
Yeah. Did you say Alabama?
I don't
New
think
Jersey?
I did. I did not.
Yeah, they were there too.
So many people. I'll give a little shout out. Our buddy Tony Mangia
Tony Mangia.
had an awesome time there. I've never seen him smiling from ear to ear as much as he is. I think he's coming back next year.
I think he's coming
We got to get some more of those New Jersey guys down here.
Got to.
Such an awesome time. But even outside of that, we still have stuff going on.
Oh, I know.
We had the Italian festival in Kenner a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
We've got the Italian festival in Tickfall, Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
coming up as well. We got our Serrata. There's so much going on just in like the first 6 months of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention the back half, which is still loaded with stuff, especially Columbus Day and all these other things we got
Mm-hmm.
going on. It is definitely at the time to be alive in Italian America. I think I was telling you this earlier. Back in the 1970s, I believe that was like the heyday of Italian America.
Yeah, why do you think that was the heyday?
Well, I mean, outside of just the national scope of things, so many Italian American movies, even though it's mafiosi and like Godfather centric, it still was just like everybody thought it was cool to be Italian. People knew more about Italians at that point, and I think there was like a turning point for people to somewhat, because it's still not really accepted in a positive light, but to accept Italians into the American way of life.
Yeah, in the mainstream.
Exactly. But at least in New Orleans, for the St. Joseph Society, that's when it first started. They had 1,400 guys, if not more, marching in the parade.
1,400?
For St. Joseph's Day, exactly.
Mangia.
And we had, 300, roughly, like marching through the parade.
Got to pump those numbers up.
Exactly. But my point is, with stuff like IAFL, with stuff like what we're doing, and this is happening across the country, not just here in Louisiana, I really do think that there's this resurgence of Italian American pride and really identity.
You know, you might say it's a renaissance.
That's probably the best way to say it.
I mean, what not a more perfect word to describe what's going on right now in Italian America than a renaissance?
Exactly. And there's so much energy behind it. You could feel it at IFL. You can feel it at all of the meetings that we have and the events that we have. There's
yeah.
so many young people who I think are just looking for that identity. Mm-hmm. And it's not like we were talking about with Tornado Orlando. You could be 1%, or you really could be no Italian, but still be an Italian.
Yeah, he said it best. He said, if you could be anything, anywhere in the world, be an Italian.
Exactly.
And he said, anybody can be an Italian.
Anybody can. I truly believe that.
You can. I mean, it's...
And that's kind of the part of the Italian way of life is like everybody is family.
Yes.
Some of the most hospitable people that you'll ever meet. They open the door. I mean, I love hearing the stories from non-Italians who are like, oh, I went to an Italian friend's lunch or dinner on Sunday and I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because it starts, 11 o'clock? And when do you typically finish?
Let's see. Well, family dinner starts at 11 o'clock on a Sunday, and it doesn't end until about 11 o'clock at night when me and my grandpa have our last cup of coffee.
Exactly. And so the purpose of this podcast, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be releasing it on Sundays, and the idea behind that is on your drive to whether you're meeting up with family, you meet up with friends, family, friends, whatever it is, that tradition of getting together on Sundays, being with the family, la familia. Mm-hmm. Listen to the podcast on the way there. Kind of get yourself in the mood.
Put you in the mood.
Exactly. And maybe there's some fun little things you can talk about at the dinner, or just learn a few things, or just have fun listening to it. I think we're going to cover so many different topics.
Yes, we are.
There's just so much going on.
There is.
We're pumped up. That's why we're really wanting to do this thing. Mm-hmm. So what we want y'all to do is tune in for next week, because we've got a lot cooking up. We're going to really be diving in to the happenings of Italian America.
That's right. Starting with IAFL.
The one and only.
That was what? Yeah, I mean, it's only appropriate we start there. It was the first event of the year.
Exactly. Got to start there.
Got to start there.
Exactly. So this has been the Bada Bing Bayou podcast. My name is Patrick Ross Campesi.
I'm Lawrence Joseph Ingraffia.
Ciao, y'all.
Y'all come back now.